Art in India had its roots in religious subjects before it came to include secular themes. The content and composition of these paintings were based on religion, literature, aesthetics, and the music of Indian culture. The earliest evidences of painting in India are found on the walls of the rock temples of the Buddhist monasteries in Ajanta, dating back to the 5th century. This style of painting was later greatly reduced in size to actually be contained within the pages of manuscripts on palm leaves in a horizontal format illuminating religious text, till the advent of paper in the 14th century. They came to be called miniatures also because of the exquisite delicacy of the details in the paintings. The second millennium brought with it great changes. The Mughal invasion, the reorganization of the feudal system, the retreat of Buddhism, and the progressive changes in Hinduism itself provided a different cultural landscape. The establishment of the Mughal Empire in the 16th century brought with it a particularly productive period in the growth of the art. As the Mughal conquerors allowed the Rajput princes and the Deccan rulers to maintain power in exchange for other tributes, there existed, along with the Mughal imperial ateliers, the Rajput and the Deccani schools. Heroes and heroines are intrinsic to all cultures. They set standards and influence modes of behavior. The Muslim, Hindu, and Jain epic traditions supplied numerous such heroes and heroines, both real and imagined, as role models woven into every part of the cultural fabric. The hero was a noble warrior known for his bravery, his reliability as a husband, a civic leader, or as an ideal lover. The traditional Indian definition of the heroine implies beauty, romance, and successful childbearing. Romantic love was not considered to be as vital to a marriage as procreation and economic stability, and perhaps because it was not, a long-standing and vital tradition of romantic Hindu and secular literature developed. The typical element of the forbidden love affair is the late-night tryst in the woods outside the town, where the hero and heroine brave many obstacles to meet, if only briefly. Like the folk tale of Soni, a Hindu village girl who swam to her secret nocturnal tryst with her lover Mahinwal, a Muslim merchant. The pictorial representation of classical musical themes or ragas were a popular subject among the Rajput princes. The ragas depicted various moods, time of the day, and seasons of the year. Poets and painters alike sought to interpret each musical theme by personifying them as a hero, a raga, or a heroine, a ragini, like in this Rajasthani painting, where Dhanashri, the dark-bodied heroine, is about to paint her far-off lover while tears roll down, wetting her breasts. These Ragamala paintings echoed the intense emotional passions of the protagonist and resonated with its musicality. It was considered inappropriate for women of the royal household to display their talent and beauty or even appear in public. They remained in the zanana or harems throughout their lives. But some of these beautiful women of privilege did have an indirect influence in the shaping of historical events. As no painter was allowed entry into the zanana, these paintings were largely inspired by the courtesans who circulated more openly within the court. The epics are often revered as religious texts, as they demonstrate and celebrate the moral ideas and philosophical concepts that uphold earthly morality and cosmic harmony. As in the Ramayana, where the hero Sri Rama, when told by his father to go into exile, he goes. When his wife Sita is abducted by Ravana, the 10-headed demon king of Lanka, Rama and his brother Lakshmana, with the help of the monkey king Sugriva and their general Hanuman, waged a terrible battle and retrieved Sita. And Rama eventually regained his throne. The stoic heroism of Rama somewhat contrasts with the mischief and passion of Krishna, who in his youth is the irresistible prankster. The Rajput princes, who were devotees of Krishna, commissioned numerous works on his life. Like this illustration of the Gita Govind showing Krishna from a bed of flowers and leaves behind a tree, gazing at his consort Radha in a lush forest scene with a brilliant sweep of moonlight. In the midst of these heroic tales were the unnamed heroes, the artists. These artists did not work as individuals expressing their creative genius, but as members of an atelier, almost anonymously. Hence, these paintings were not attributed to its artists. However, these artists migrated freely between states and were not limited by their own religious affiliations or that of their patrons. So Indian art continued to be identified in terms of the specific regions or dynastic styles, with no mention of its artists. The Mughal rule in India brought with it the Persian technical virtuosity to mix with the natural vibrancy and dynamism of the existing indigenous art.
The Hamsanaama series was commissioned by the Emperor Akbar in 1564, and it was a major project of the Royal Atelier with over 1,400 folios completed in the period of 1564 to 77. And the works, which are of a massive scale, were painted in colors, gold and silver on cotton. The figure at the center of this, one of the 4 Hamsanaama folios in the Brooklyn collection, represents the hero of the story, Amir Hamza, who is the uncle of the Prophet Muhammad, and his myriad program of defeating demons, such as this Div in the picture here, is one of the topics that we find frequently in this set. The paintings are remarkable for their brilliant colors and the attention to detail, which relates something of the everyday life in 16th century northern India.
This marked a new and vital tradition of the Mughal school with the introduction of facial expressions and personal traits of character. Recounted in the celebrated Jain literature of the Kalpa Sutra is the story of the founder of the Jain religion, Mahavira, literally meaning great hero. The Hindu gods and goddesses were identified by distinctive physical traits, their attire, and the symbols they carry, riding on their chosen animals, like this highly energized composition of Durga's attack on the buffalo demon and Kali lapping up his blood before it touches the earth and coagulates into new demons. These heroic models ruled over the celestials, while their patrons strove to be just and able rulers of the terrestrials as paradigms of heroic behavior. The ascendancy of the British over India in the 18th century brought with it a definite European influence. The lighter colors, the three-quarter view in portraits, and the influence of photography were also reflected by the local princely patrons. So the Indian painting tradition was not impervious to foreign influence, but instead imbibed and assimilated it willingly into its fold, reflecting without reservation the changing times. Heroic ideals never die. Their power and influence reach out to our present times to inspire and ignite the interest and imagination of a number of scholars at the Brooklyn Museum in New York. They have toiled ceaselessly to mount 89 delicate and fragile works to bring to us the realms of heroism in Indian paintings, open through 8th January 1995. Well, seems to me like a remarkable opportunity for you to obtain the collector's catalogue and spend time with your family, taking in the delicacy and splendor of these timeless treasures. I'm Shantha Misra on IBN Spotlight. Have a wonderful time.